What is the concept of 13.8 billion years? It is the history of the existence of the entire universe. However, the existence time of our human ancestors only accounts for 1/10,000th of the history of the universe. You will understand the whole story by the end. It all started with an explosion 13.8 billion years ago. 13.8 billion years ago, the universe began from a high-temperature, high-density point, and an explosion occurred. This is called the Big Bang. The starting point of this high temperature is called the gravitational singularity. The volume of this starting point is infinitely small, the density is infinite, and the gravity is infinite. This infinitesimal point quickly bounced away at a speed of only 10 to the power of minus 32 seconds and turned into a small ball with a diameter of 1 centimeter. In the beginning, there were no particles, planets, or any other accessible matter in this small ball with a diameter of 1 centimeter, just pure energy. Everything in the universe began to expand from this explosion, and then the temperature dropped. The speed of the diffusion explosion slowed down than initially, and the energy began to be converted into particles and molecules, and then compounded into gases. Wait, what was the universe like before the Big Bang? In other words, is the history of the world we exist now longer than 138 years? The answer is that before the Big Bang, there was nothing. You heard it right, nothing. There is not even time, only imaginary time and Euclidean space-time. Physicists have different opinions on this issue, among which Hawking's theory is the most credible. After the Big Bang, elements gradually began to form. The elements were combined under the influence of gravity to form the first group of stars. Stars then began to gather under the influence of gravity, forming galaxies. In the first 1.2 billion years after the Big Bang, stars formed in large numbers in this way. Our Milky Way was formed in this way about 600 to 800 million years after the Big Bang. This formation went through a long process. The first generation of stars resulted in a supernova explosion when the star was unable to withstand its own gravity due to the massive transformation of hydrogen and helium into heavier elements. The supernova explosion ejects the remaining material, forming second-generation stars. So, 4.6 billion years ago, the thing we care about most happened. Our star, the Sun, was born as a second-generation star. The Sun has heavy elements carried by the previous generation of stars, so these heavy elements continued to collide and converge during the 15 million years after the birth of the Sun, forming the Earth. The Earth was probably born 4.54 billion years ago. About 45 million years after the birth of the Earth, a planet half the size of the Earth hit the Earth. Debris from the impact scattered around the Earth and was pulled around it by the Earth's gravity. The Moon was formed. 3.5 billion years ago, the earliest single-celled organism, the ancestor of us humans and all living things, was born at the mouth of a volcano on the bottom of the primitive ocean. Over the next 3 billion years, these single-celled organisms fed on, grew, and reproduced one another. About 600 million years ago, some finally transformed into multicellular organisms. 540 million years ago, the Cambrian explosion occurred, and a variety of vertebrates and other creatures in the same phylum as modern animals appeared on the seabed. In the following 500 million years, as the climate and sea levels changed, marine life began to migrate to land. Life was everywhere on the Earth, and plants began to flourish. Gradually, primitive animals such as insects, reptiles, birds, mammals, and dinosaurs appeared. Until one day 65 million years ago, a 10-kilometer diameter planet called Chicxulub hit the Gulf of Mexico with huge force, causing volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and tsunamis up to 90 meters high. The ecosystem on the Earth was completely destroyed, and most of the living things on the Earth died within a short period of time after the meteorite impact. The dinosaurs that lived on Earth for 165 million years also became extinct. Only a few birds and small mammals living underground survived and began to form a new ecosystem. About 5 million years ago, some chimpanzee-like apes successfully evolved into Australopithecus, our earliest ancestor. In other words, our direct ancestors existed for only 1/2760th of the history of the universe.
Australopithecus then continued to evolve into Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, and even modern humans. 9,000 years ago, the earliest human civilization, Mesopotamia, began to emerge.
Finally, if someone asks me where all of this comes from, all I can say is that these are inferred by astrophysicists and biologists based on very observable or palpable evidence. It's just that I don't have time to list them all in this video. Our video needs to end here. If my video is lucky enough to help you, please do me a little favor to subscribe, click a like or leave a comment. I appreciate any support.